Hello friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel and welcome to another Spring Vibes tumbler. I am so excited about the way this cup turned out. I had a vision in my head, like always, and I really hoped that it would come to life, and it totally did. So I'm really excited to bring you this tutorial today. As always, I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, please be sure to give it a thumbs up down below. Of course, let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already, because I upload brand new Tumbler tutorials every single week. Down below in the description box, you'll find a full supply list along with links and discount codes. You'll also find links to all of my social media pages, as well as a link to join my exclusive mentorship group, my Elite Fam. We have so much fun over in that group. I do exclusive content. We go live in the Facebook group every week, and I give out a lot of free digital files and giveaways and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you want to join the Elite Fam, you can check the link in the description box. Okay, I think that's it. I really hope you all enjoy this tutorial. Let's go! Yay! We're going to start with a 20-ounce skinny straight tumbler. This is from the Stainless Steel Depot, and it's actually a sublimation tumbler. So what I've done is just very lightly sanded down the surface, and now I'm going to do my quick glitter method here. So in my little mixing cup, I've got Skye from Olive's Glitter Outlet, and I'm going to mix that in with my Flynn Sisters Fast Cure Epoxy, and this is going to give us a really nice, quick, even and easy glitter base to add all of our designs onto. So if you want to, you can do the traditional glitter method. If you just want to glitter your tumbler like normal and then do 2 layers of epoxy over that, you absolutely can, but I really like this quick glitter method because it gives you a nice sparkly base and essentially eliminates an entire step. So after this first coat is cured with the glitter in it, I'm going to add another coat of epoxy on top of this just to make sure that my cup is totally smooth, because we are going to apply vinyl on top of it. Skye is kind of on the chunkier side. If you use a fine cut glitter, you might not have to do that second coat before you go in with your vinyl, but if you're using a little bit of a bigger cut like I am, you'll want to do a second coat over the glitter before you move on to this next step. Now the template we're going to use is from Etsy, and this is a template that you can use if you want to do like a glitter version of this. You can use this in a lot of different ways, and I thought it would be fun to do kind of like a color melting ombre painted blend type of thing. So I took the template and I cut it out of just regular white vinyl. I get this on Amazon, so I will link it down in the description box for you. But what I'm going to do here is cut it out close to the template so we don't have very many borders, and then I'm going to apply it to my tumbler using my transfer tape. Now I've decided to use 5 different paint colors, and I'm just going to use acrylic paint. Now if you wanted to, you could use alcohol ink markers, you could use regular alcohol inks. I think you could probably use chalk paint too. You can also use spray paint. So any sort of pigment that you have that you want to use, you can absolutely use for this technique. It doesn't have to be acrylic paint. Now applying the template to your tumbler is definitely the hardest part of this entire design, because if you mess it up, it's kind of hard to fix it. So really take your time with this step, be patient, and just do your best. I mean, worst case scenario, you have to take it off and apply it again. It's okay. But yeah, this is definitely the hardest part of the whole thing. So if you can get through this, you can definitely do the rest of this design, okay? So I'm going to take my piece of transfer tape, cut it down to fit the size of my template, and then I'm going to very carefully apply the transfer tape to the template. You want to be careful when you're doing this because you don't want to get any wrinkles or bubbles or anything in your transfer tape, because that will affect the application of the template onto your tumbler. This is a really big piece of vinyl that we're trying to apply to our cup, and it's cut out and it's got all these things going on, and we don't want to ruin any of that. So you want to be really careful when you're applying this. I'm going to use my squeegee here to push the transfer tape onto the template, making sure again we don't have any wrinkles or bubbles or lifting or anything like that. So once I've got my transfer tape on my template, I'm going to take my paper trimmer or slicer and I'm going to cut off all of the excess borders from the backing of the vinyl so that we know exactly where this template is going and we can make sure that we get it on as straight as possible. Spoiler alert, I did not apply this template straight and the design still turned out okay. So if you are not good at putting things on in the straightest of fashions, it's okay, you can still do this. Now for the design that we're doing, we are not looking for a full wrap with this checkerboard pattern. So I did not resize the template to accommodate for our epoxy that we've got on our cup. Because remember, when you put epoxy on your tumbler, it's going to get thicker. So it'll be a wider measurement around than just your blank cup. So if you are looking for a full wrap and you just want to do this checkerboard by itself without the middle decal that we're going to add later, you'll want to measure the width around your cup and then resize your template to fit that new width. But because I am going to take away some of these pieces in just a little bit, I didn't measure, I just kept the template the size it is because the height is perfect. So you'll just want to measure and make sure that the template is going to fit for whatever design you're looking for. So now I'm applying my template to my tumbler and you can see that I taped down one edge of the template to the cup, just the same way that I would if I was doing like a pattern vinyl wrap on the tumbler. And I'm going really, really slowly here using both my fingers and my squeegee to make sure that we get our vinyl applied as perfectly as possible. Now again, I said I did not apply this straight and I definitely didn't. But again, for the design that I'm looking for, I'm going to get rid of some of the template from the top and the bottom of the tumbler and kind of frame this out with vinyl. So I'm not looking for a perfect wrap, but if you are, just make sure that you get this on as straight as possible. But if you don't, there's always a way to fix it and make it look good. So don't put too much pressure on yourself to like be absolutely perfect. So once I had the template applied and the transfer tape removed, I went through and removed 2 vertical rows of the checkerboard to make room for the decal that I'm going to add later. Now my vision for this was to kind of have a little strip of just glitter where I can put my long skinny decal. Of course, if you have a different decal idea, you can always do a different outset. Like you could remove a chunk of checkerboard from the middle of your cup, or you can just put your decal on top of your checkerboard. So you don't have to do it this way. I just thought that this would be kind of a fun way to do the decal. So I'm going to remove all of those checkerboard sections and then I'm going to tape that off so that we can keep that just plain glitter while we paint the rest of our vinyl areas. Now, like I said earlier, I'm going to leave a little bit of extra just plain glitter space at the top and bottom of my tumbler. Now, part of that was because I wanted to frame out the checkerboard a little bit, but I also had some wrinkling when I applied the vinyl, so that really just made my decision to do this a lot easier because it's just going to make everything look a lot cleaner. So this is optional. You don't have to do this part of it. If you apply your template perfectly and you just want to do full checkerboard from top to bottom, you absolutely can, but I wanted to get rid of the wrinkles up top and just make this look really nice and finished and professional looking. So I decided to leave a little tiny sliver of glitter at the top and the bottom. So I use my CAMIPAIGE cup edging tool to trim the vinyl so that I could get a nice straight clean line up at the top and the bottom, and then I'm just going to pick off all the vinyl from there and just leave that glitter exposed at the top and bottom rim. After I've got those areas trimmed up, I'm going to mask those off with some electrical tape because I, again, want those to just be glitter. I don't want to get any of our paint on there. So I'm going to use my electrical tape to tape those off because it's more flexible and it'll really mold around that whole area of the cup and just give us a nice, clean, crisp line. So I'm going to do that and then I'm going to get into painting this checkerboard finally. I'm so excited. For painting this checkerboard, there are literally no rules. There's no rhyme or reason or pattern or anything to this technique. You just want to take your paints one by one and put them on your tumbler. If you want to blend them in like a rainbow gradient, you can. If you want to do kind of what I'm doing, which is more of a like rustic color blend, you can do that. You can literally do whatever you want with this technique. Just really have fun with it. But what I'm doing, like I said, is a like color melting of colors. I really don't know what to call this, but I'm taking each color, cleaning off my brush sporadically so that we don't get too muddy. But what I want is a blending of colors, but also just a lot of different colors next to each other and kind of make this look really springy. I mean, this is spring vibes after all. So I want those bright, fun spring colors, and I want them all to be mixed up together, or like not in any specific pattern, if that makes sense. So hopefully it makes sense when you're watching me do it, because I really don't know how to explain it. I'm just putting the color all over the cup, making sure each color is accounted for semi-evenly, trying to blend them a little bit, but really we're just looking for nice, full, colorful coverage all over this vinyl portion. Once I'm finished painting, I'm going to let this sit and dry for probably about an hour. And if you want to speed up the drying process, you can always use a heat gun. I did that a little bit, and then I let the paint just air dry for the rest of the time. Once your paint's dry, it's time to peel up some of our vinyl to create our checkerboard pattern. Now I'm going to draw a very scientific and very accurate diagram of what I'm going to do here, hopefully so it makes a little more sense. I always get confused with like plaids and patterns and things like this because I always worry that I'm going to do it wrong. So I'm going to draw a version of our template so that I can mark off what I'm peeling up on what area. Because we've got these super cute little flowers, this isn't just a traditional checkerboard where you would just peel up every other square. So what I'm going to do is alternate between peeling up the middle floral vinyl and exposing the glitter that way, and peeling up the outer square vinyl and exposing the glitter from behind the painted flower, if that makes sense. So in my diagram here, I'm going to cross off flower, square, just so that I can keep everything straight. You definitely don't have to do this if you can just do it by looking at it, but I wanted to draw the diagram so that I could keep everything together. So to do this, I'm going to use my pin pen and my tweezers and go line by line, peeling up my vinyl, alternating again between peeling up the flower in the middle and peeling up the square from the background. So for every square or section of your template, you are going to peel something up. You just want to make sure that you peel the right thing and you don't mess up the pattern of the checkerboard. Once I peeled up all of the decals, I was so excited because I really saw the vision coming to life. And yes, I did peel up that one flower or square that I missed because I didn't notice it until later. So once I'm done peeling up all the decals, I'm going to remove all of the tape, the electrical tape, the painter's tape, and then I'm going to go through and clean up any lines or anything that might have gotten under the tape. Just want to make sure that my paint lines are really crisp and clean so that when we go to line them with vinyl later, it's easier and we don't have any messy spots showing through the vinyl striping. After that, I added another coat of epoxy to the tumbler to seal all of the paint in and then add our vinyl striping and our decal. This coat of epoxy was pretty thin. It was only about 15 milliliters of the Flynn Sisters Fast Cure epoxy. Now I can add my vinyl striping, and of course, I'm using my favorite vinyl on the planet, the textured metallic champagne gold vinyl from Teckwrap Craft. So I cut my stripes out at 0.1 inches in width, and I'm going to use those stripes to line the sides of our checkerboard and then frame out the area where we're going to put the decal. And then I used the stripes from the spacing in between those stripes, if that makes sense. So they're a little thinner. I used those to line the top and bottom edges of the checkerboard where we've got the, little sliver of glitter on the top and bottom rim. So essentially what we're doing is creating a frame around the checkerboard, and we've got glitter on the rest of the tumbler. Once we've got our checkerboard section framed out, we can add our decal to that blank space in the middle of the tumbler. For the main part of our decal, I'm going to use this new vinyl from Teckwrap Craft. The name of this is Candid Rainbow Stripes, and I got it in the mail while I was making this cup, and I thought, wow, the colors in the vinyl really go well with the colors that I painted in our checkerboard. So I decided to cut the decal out of that vinyl, and then for the offset we're using the same champagne gold textured metallic vinyl. Now this decal is one that I created. I will have it available on my website, and members of my Elite Fam mentorship group will get this file for free in April. So if you want to join the Elite Fam, you can sign up and get this file and a lot of others for free next month. So what I'm going to do, of course, is put the offset on my tumbler first, and then we'll lay the top layer on the cup afterwards. If you prefer to layer your decal before you put it on the cup, you absolutely can. I always just prefer to layer my decals after they've already been placed onto the tumbler. So what I'm going to do is put my transfer tape on my offset, and then I'm going to cut around the backing of the decal as close to the decal as I can so that I can make sure that I place this as centered within that area on the tumbler as possible. It's not going to be perfect, but I do want to make sure that it looks like it fits within that whole area. So the area size that I ended up with after I took care of those two stripes that we got rid of, or the two checkerboard sections, ended up being about 2 inches in width. So I made my decal as close to 2 inches high as I could. And then the height of our tumbler is 8 inches. So working within that area, I sized my decal to fit within that. So I think I ended up making it like 7 inches in width so that I could have a little bit of leeway on each side of the tumbler, and then it ended up being like maybe 1.5 inches tall. So once I had the offset placed on the tumbler, I took the top layer of the decal and just placed it right in the middle of that offset. Then I removed the transfer tape and I was ready to add my final 2 coats of epoxy. After those 2 coats are cured, we are all done. So that is it for this tutorial. I really hope you all enjoyed it. I am so obsessed with how this tumbler design came out, and I really hope you guys like the tumbler too. Of course, let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you decide to try out this design, please be sure to tag me in your photos so that I can show you some love and see what you take from this tutorial to make it your own. If you are not already subscribed to the channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button down below so that you don't miss any of my new videos. I've got new videos coming every week, so make sure you are subscribed and that you turn notifications on so you don't miss any time I post. And thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you tomorrow for another Spring Vibes tutorial, and that's it. Okay, love you. Bye. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up down below. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Made by Manny and Mal. You can join my mentorship group at the website on your screen. I'd love to have you in the Elite fam. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you are not already so you don't miss any of my new videos. And while you're here, here's another video for you to check out. I want to say a huge thank you to my channel members and my Elite fam members. You guys make this channel possible. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.